What is up, RC enthusiasts? Check it out. Today we have this new S13. This is by BM Hobby. This is called the BMRX-FLD First Learn Drift S13. Now it does look kind of cartoonish because this is a game car from FR Legends. So just take that into consideration if you're thinking this does not look proportional. It was not meant to look proportional. It was meant to look like a video game car. But this is a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive RC drift car. And the first edition performed really well. And now we have the second version right here, which is the addition to the AE86 that they came out with first. And this one has some features that the AE86 didn't have, body-wise, and also some stuff chassis-wise that I think it's lacking compared to the first edition. So let's go ahead and let's get into this guy. Now right here, this is not how it comes out the box. All this is included in the box, but this wing, this rear bumper, the side skirts, the front bumper, and also this little rear window valance, those things all come in the box with it. Here's stock bumper, stock wheels look. Here they do have buckets for lights, so you can put lights up front, and you also can put lights on the rear. And here's the AE86 version of it, and I know they came out with the pop-up headlights, a little actuator, so you have a servo that actually pops those headlights up and down, light kit and everything, but there is a little bit of a downgrade to this chassis compared to their original chassis right here. So the first thing I want to point out is the chassis wheelbase. This one is adjusted to a longer wheelbase than this one. Taking a look underneath here, you can tell the AE86 has one adjustment notch out, so it's one adjustment notch longer, and the S13 is fully in the short mode, so in the shortest chassis setting it could possibly get. Check how strong the magnets on these guys are. That might be an issue drifting these guys together, you know, because they get stuck together like that, then they're just going to be following each other. On the box you get your transmitter, which is a Fly Sky version, I think, with this version compared to their older one, which is a Dumbo RC. Here's your quick start guide, and this is your chassis to mount your bodies on, just in case you want to put your bodies on display and you have multiple bodies. Let's say you buy like a Kyosho body to run on it, and you want that body to sit on display. Now you have a chassis right here that you can put your wheels on, and there's little axles in here and stuff for it. And here we have your spare axles or drive shafts, and they have long ones and short ones in here. The short ones are what you're going to use, so there's 2 spare ones in there, and obviously 2 already installed, and there's 4 of the long ones if you want to get a wider wheelbase, but you're going to have to modify the rig and buy other parts to get that to work. And it also comes with a set of rubber tires if you want to do some touring car duties with it. And when you install the rubber tires, you will need to install these knuckles, these steering knuckles right here, to get shorter steering through. And the ones that are installed on here are going to be the high angle drifting knuckles, so you're ready to drift right out of the box with this little guy. We have 2 hex wrenches included, a little screwdriver, and a little wheel wrench for your little wheel nuts, and your 2S battery charger. And also with this charger, just go ahead and be careful. It charges really fast and gets kind of warm, so I would want to monitor it. For your transmitter, you're going to have your steering reversing, throttle reversing, your bind button. We have steering dual rate, steering trim, throttle dual rate, and gain. And that gain is for turning your gyro on and off and adjusting how much gyro assistance you get as you're driving. It does have a plastic steering wheel right here, which I do not like, the plastic steering wheel. But this transmitter is a pretty common transmitter on a lot of micros and minis. The one thing I wish they did was kept the size consistent, because this S13 body is a lot smaller than the AE86 body, and it doesn't look right at all, because I know the AE86 is a smaller car in real life. But anyway, like I said, video game. This is just a game car, so not too serious. And if you really want to make these look better, mini Z bodies do fit on here. And also now we're missing a bobblehead guy, so no bobblehead guy, one less, detail. Like I said, they're pretty much the same chassis. The only thing they really changed was some parts. And I'm not sure if they did that to make it cheaper or if they found it to be better that way. Both these cars come with a 350 mAh 2S LiPo. Before I continue, the body on this guy actually wobbles on the chassis versus the nice fit of the AE86. And all I had to do was add this little foam piece right here, just on one side because it was kind of cocked to the other side. And now just having that foam piece on one side snugs it up, and now the wheels line up pretty nicely on the body. So let's get to the more obvious differences. The ESC receiver combo. This one is a Dumbo RC sourced one. Now this one is supposed to be a Fly Sky sourced one. And the reason they say they did that is because they like the Fly Sky gyro better than the Dumbo RC one. But I don't really see any wheel jittering or anything inconsistent with this one. Both of mine drift pretty nicely. Motor wise, it says 2800 RPM and BM Hobby labeled on this one. This motor is also a 2800 or 28,000 RPM motor. That says 28,000, sorry. Yeah, this one is also a 28,000 RPM, just unlabeled. And that's one first thing that I noticed better with the old one than the new one. They included a spare motor with this one. This one does not include a spare motor. As you can see, the little suspension links or the little suspension rods that the springs ride on, it's more of a steel, regular steel color on this one. while this one has like a brass color to it. And I'm pretty sure you guys can notice right here too, the links are adjustable for rear toe on this model, the newer model, and the old one just had solid links. And that's not too big of a downside because you can upgrade to that, no problem. Both of mine seem to come with a steering servo saver and metal geared servos. Just ignore these little spacers I put right here. I'm just trying to drop the suspension a little bit to get the wheels to sit nice in the wheel well, but I'm not sure if that actually impedes the performance or makes the performance worse by doing that. I haven't tested it long enough. I just literally did this today, and I put a lot more on the A86 to drop that one, and it doesn't impede any of the wheel movement, but it doesn't look that great on there, and I'm still, like I said, not sure if that actually worsens the performance of this RC car. This is where the big difference is, in my opinion, between the new one and the old one. As you can tell right here, the dog bone is plastic, and the outdrive right here it sits on is plastic. So that's just going to be, less durable in my opinion than the metal ones that the old one comes with right here. As you can see, it's a CVD style drive shaft, and it's just, full CVD all the way through into the drive cups, which is still plastic on the inner side, but at least everything out here is steel, and just seems to be a way better design. I'm not sure why they switched to this one. That's one thing I did notice between both of them, and that's what I liked about this one more than this. And also one other thing, this one was a little smoother out the box. This one I've been getting to get a little smoother. I disassembled a little bit of stuff and the suspension is working a little better now. But this one drifted pretty good out the box and smoother out the box. Now my chassis was adjusted just like this out the box on this one, so the wheels look kind of weird in it, so I just had to scoot it one notch back, and that was perfect wheelbase for the A86 body. And this one fully closed, or fully at the shortest wheelbase, is going to be good for the S13. Here at the bottom you see right here, this is going to be for adjusting your Ackerman for your front steering. So this little RC car has Ackerman adjustment and rear toe adjustment now. So inside this gearbox, we have these gears in here. They're all plastic gears, but they are all on ball bearings. So that's what makes them very smooth and very efficient. But these are the plastic, drive shafts or dog bones. I really don't like these, but hopefully they're still reliable, hopefully they know what they're doing. And here's where it's different from the newer model. There's a plastic outdrive here instead of a CVD metal drive shaft. We have a plastic drive shaft, plastic everything back here now for the drive unit area, except you still have ball bearings though. The new one sits with a wheel hex holding that wheel to the plastic hub now, versus a wheel nut holding it, just like a more classic RC or more hobby grade RC car style. Now the transmitter is the other downgrade, in my opinion. Other than it being a fly sky, because me, I'm a fly sky guy, so I don't think that part is a downgrade. But just the fact that the transmitter just feels cheaper on this one versus this one. I like the way this one has the cover up here, so you can, put this down, not have to worry about any of your trims or anything changing up here, versus this one all open. If you just toss this somewhere, then your gains and all your adjustments are going to be thrown off on that transmitter. I gave the new guy here about a battery pack and a half worth of running, and in my opinion, it runs pretty similar to this. I don't really see that much of a difference. I actually think maybe the older one drifted a little bit better out the box, but this one's not too bad, and all the stuff that this has on it, like those, metal CVDs and stuff back there, that can be upgraded onto this one. So just dependent on which body you really want, just grab that one. Don't make it such a big deal because they both drift pretty good, and the bodies are swappable, and you can put mini Z bodies, like I said, on these things, so don't be too stuck on it too much. You can upgrade these just a little bit, just to get, what you want out of it. But I'm also going to go ahead and keep track of how these plastic drive shafts last. Let you guys know if I snap or break any of those during running. But for now, so far on my battery and a half of running, it's been okay. Well, you guys be a judge. Which one do you guys think did better during those runs? And I know I didn't do my best job, and I didn't try to keep on doing it to get better runs, but now in my opinion, my lowering job I think did ruin the handling of this one. Now this one, the 2 shim lower, it didn't seem to handle that much different, I think, from stock. But this one for sure, I did ruin the handling a little bit. So the little spacers you see underneath the suspension right there, don't do that, mod, because I don't think I did justice to any of these. Just, you know, nicer ride height. So in my opinion, which one of these should you run that RC? Well, either one in my opinion. Just, you know, find whichever one you can find for a better deal and start learning how to drift with these. Now, you know, obviously if you're not a beginner drifter, you're probably going to want the more advanced version of these. There's some more advanced RC 28 scales out there that are carbon fiber chassis and standalone electronics, fully adjustable everything. And these ones are just your little, you know, teasers to get into it. So guys, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with either of these little guys, and I think you need to have one of these in your fleet, especially if you've never drifted before. These are the ones to get right here. I mean, the LDRC 18 scale ones are pretty nice as well, but these ones right here are a little bit more serious drifters, and you can convert them to, you know, run mini Z bodies and have less angle on the steering with the other knuckles they include, so that way you can kind of do a 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive touring car with these if you wish to do racing with like some mini Zs and stuff. But in my opinion, these are what they are, little learner drift cars, and super fun at that. Well, alright guys, thanks for watching, and as usual, stay safe out there, go have fun, and run that RC.